The Tyre Kickers Classic Car Chat with Max and Matt.
Hello there and welcome to a special bonus episode we didn't know we were doing until 10 minutes ago.
But doing it we are, and you find us slap bang in the middle of Hall 5 at the NEC in Birmingham. The reason? It's the Practical Classics Classic Car and Restoration Show 2025.
Around us we can see some of the 1,300 classic cars that are here. They're in various stages of being taken apart and sworn at by middle-aged men in dirty overalls.
Also in these very halls are 160 car clubs with varying levels of specialist anoraks, plus us, and lots of traders selling all those essential shiny bits and bolts that you'll need for your pride and joy.
So, before he starts moaning that he needs a drink and a sit-down, let's whip you round the show and bring you the best bits.
So it's a Tyre Kickers bonus episode thrown together right here at the NEC.
Okay, we're now in the middle of Hall 4 in the classic trader village, amongst all the stuff, all the stands, all the traders, all the tools and bits and Max. What's all this stuff?
Well, it is very, very shiny tools, isn't it? And I have to admit, I do have some of this stuff. I mean, I've got some socket
You've never
sets.
used it?
I haven't used it, though. That's why it's still shiny. Some of it's still in its original packaging, because I didn't have a tool to open the packaging to get the socket sets out. But honestly, you see those like toolbox drawers? I've got some of those with screwdrivers and socket sets. Just never use it.
You're the sort of sad muppet that have a shadow board. You know, when they paint all the tools on and then you match them up. And those tools, I reckon if I looked at your tools, they've never probably even seen oil.
Yeah, well, that's what they do in prison, isn't it? To make sure the tools don't go missing. So they have to put them back at the end of the day. But I would do that because I do like a good tool set. And I never really have the time to use it. I mean, the biggest thing I've done on my car recently is change a speaker. And that involved a lot of swearing, but only one screwdriver.
Did you do that? Did you get someone to do it?
No, I actually did that myself. I ordered the speaker and
The only thing you've done on your car is fill it up.
Well, I have polished it. I have given it a polish. And I think that's probably the most maintenance I'm planning on doing. I'm just not very good at that stuff. It just falls apart in my hand.
So we're a bit out of depth here. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff. I mean, I like the shiny stuff. I'm kind of more like a magpie. So we're stood next to a trolley seat. Actually, that would be handy.
Actually, that's quite good, isn't it? Should we try it now? Have a good sit down.
And next to it is the thing for your dodgy knees. That, you know, when
the kind of kneeler.
Yeah.
You've got one of those for weeding.
Well, I do actually need one of those because you do end up doing your knees in on the driveway, otherwise just checking underneath. But I like the shiny stuff, so I'm going to look for sort of chromy bits. But you just don't bother with yours. Your car's so sorted that you don't need anything, do you?
Well, I mean, that is the point of buying that car, that I don't actually have to do anything to it. I have just spotted a bottle jack, and I've always wanted a bottle jack. But I'm not quite sure what I do with it apart from put it on the shelf and look at it.
Well, exactly that. Let's go and make him an offer. Right, let's go and have a look round.
We've just strolled past the toy car section. Did you have many toy cars as a kid? I know it's a long time ago, so cast your mind back through the fog of time.
Yeah, I think the ones I had a man with a red flag in front of them. It was so long ago. I don't know if I had a lot of toy cars. I don't know if model cars rather.
Was it a poor childhood? Do we have to have sympathy?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we have to put some music in underneath. I don't know how I feel about them, whether they're a bit nerdy or not. I'm sure I did have some. I did have a larger scale model more recently of an Alpha Spider I had, which actually fell apart, which was a bit ironic. So it was true, it was authentic. So we stood in front of the moment of a big stand with loads of stuff on. Is there anything catching your fancy? Do you fancy anything, or is it a bit nerdy?
No, it's nerdy and I like it. What used to frustrate me as a kid, what used to frustrate me as a kid is people would give you a toy car at Christmas or at birthdays, and they'd keep it in the box, it'll be worth something in the future. And I thought, I'm 9, I want to play it out. I don't care what's going to be worth when I'm 50.
In 40 years' time, somebody would have invented eBay. You could put it on and get £5 more for it. No, I know, you do want to enjoy it and you do want to see it. I'm not sure as adults what you do with these small ones, but the larger ones, kind of, if it's your car or it's a classic car, and I'm not talking anything from British Lane or anything you like here, something really nice, like Sunbeam Alpine or something like that. I'd put that,
leaking oil?
Yeah. Now you pay extra for that. That's the authentic one. It's like Tiny Tears. Do you remember Tiny Tears, the doll? You can get a classic car version which actually drips oil over your bookcase. But no, one of these larger ones would be good. Let's see if we can find one of yours. But yeah, I mean, I'm sort of on the fence about these things. I don't know if they're a little bit nerdy, but you know.
Let's just step forward and get stuck into it, because I've seen a Volvo 240DL Estate. There's a Saab 99. There's a Mark II Escort. I think that's a Golf Mark II GTI. So it's slightly more modern cars than I was expecting.
Yeah, there are a few here. Hold on, there's a Ford Cougar. No, it's a...
I can see an Opel Calibra there. That's not a toy car. That's just rubbish.
I can see some big prices as well. 15, 25, 30 quid for the small ones.
So you don't take them out of the box when you get them, that's why.
70 quid for the big ones. But you know what? I think the big ones are quite nice because if you have got a car or you've got a pin-up car, you can actually put that in as an ornament at home, and it does actually look quite nice. So maybe we'll find you something you really, really like.
Found it. There is Tony Pond's Unipart Rover SD1, and that is, oh my god, that's 110 quid.
Hold on, I've seen a Rover P6 one. Let me get it and stand on it.
That is the quality sound of a 1965 3.8 S-Type Jaguar. Now, we're in the barn finds area. This is a total nut job restoration waiting to happen. Would you take one on?
No, this is a total nut job restoration. You've got to be a nut job to take this on. We're looking at what is it? Well, sort of a blue. I think it's so filthy I can't tell. It's like a sort of dark blue S-Type. It's in a pretty bad way, but are we still in that thing where barn finds are more expensive because people want them?
I think so. When you just throw a bit of dirt on them and pretend it's been sitting there for 35 years, even though you were driving it last week. I'm not sure about barn finds because I like the romance of it. I'd love to be able to do one, but as you know, I've got no practical talent whatsoever. And also, it's just so expensive, particularly with something like this Jag. It's just rotting in front of our eyes.
Well, yeah, I mean, look at this. I mean, it's a restoration job from it's a nut and bolt by the looks of it. I mean, look at this front wing here. The patina, I think it's called. Or you could just call it a lot of rust. It's not that the paint's flaking off. It's like the paint is actually making a break for it from the body. It's obviously covered in verdigris and all that sort of stuff on the front here. You know, everything needs replacing. And I don't know where you start with something like this. Are you going to salvage any of this? I mean, maybe the bonnet might be all right. But I don't get the point of it unless it's super, super rare and there's not these cars here and you can't buy them anywhere else. What's the appeal? I don't get the appeal. Is it? I don't know. What is it?
I think it's the appeal of spending a huge amount of money on something that won't be worth anything close to how much you've spent on it. I mean, I would like to do it, but something like this, you know, an S-Type in its finished condition is probably worth about 20 grand at most, and there's got to be 60 to 70 grand's worth of work here, even if you have to do the engine.
Yeah, we've got straw on the floor here. I'm feeling this is going to be expensive. It's like, you know when the artisan thing came in and suddenly, like, if you bought artisan coffee or bread, it was like 3 times the price. It's a bit like this now with old classic cars. If you spray a bit of straw on the floor, it gets more expensive. I'm not into barn finds, Max. I think I'd rather find a barn and fill it with classic cars that are already been done.
We're at a stand that's selling Mercedes-Benz. We just walked up to a beautiful kind of goldish Mercedes R107 300 SL, same spec as mine, and the moaning has just started.
It's a beautiful car, but I've got this problem. I can't get in it. That's
not the car's fault.
That's the problem with the SL. So look, let me demonstrate. The seat doesn't go back far enough. My legs the steering wheel's too low, and I've got it. My 60s car's easier than this. I have to contort my leg to get in here like a Russian gymnast. And then I can
listen. I've seen Russian gymnasts, and you don't look anything like a Russian gymnast.
Well, I'm doing it in slow motion for you. But once I'm in here, I'm all right. But here's the other problem. I'm like Dino the dinosaur. My head is like touching the roofliner. It's okay. It just feels. And I have this with. I'm 6'3", but I have this with a lot of classic cars. Some do, some don't. But the majority of them, like this one, like this SL, it feels like it's sort of slightly scaled down, which I know sounds blindingly obvious because they're smaller, older cars, but it's sort of I don't know. This is not too bad once I'm in it. I just sort of feel I'm too big for it.
I'm not sure that is the fault, though, of the manufacturers. Remember, this was a design from the 1960s when people generally were a little bit smaller than you are today. So I think this would be a good choice for you, actually. If you put in a smaller steering wheel, which is quite a common mod on these, to make it easier to get in and out, you take the roof off so your head isn't hitting the roof, this is a great car for you. If Bobby Ewing can get in it, you can get in it.
What, and just slice a couple of about 6 inches of my legs as well? It's all right. It's okay. I mean, the trouble is, look at the people that buy these sorts of things. You know, lazy, can't be bothered to change gears, a bit moany. I mean, they say like dogs look at their owners, and I'm looking at an SL owner as I'm speaking.
Yeah, but at least I can get in and out of it. Unlike you, who are now trapped in there.
So we've now come to Hall 3A and we're stood at the Iconics auction. Loads of different cars here. I'm looking at a Capri, an XJC, and Max has got his eyes on something here. I'm Mercedes 123 Coupe.
Do you know, I've picked this for you because it's the 280CE W123 Coupe. You really like these. The only thing you won't like about this is the condition, because it's a little bit tired.
Yeah.
In fact, it's quite tired. It's a non-runner, but just before you say anything, Mexican hat alloys. It's got the right colour. It's a kind of bluey colour. It's got the factory sunroof. It's the right engine, the right car. Just a little bit of work, and this would be perfect for you.
Okay, well, we'll give it a look. We're going to get stuck into this one and a load of other cars and bring them to you on the next show. So the next main episode of the Tyre Kickers will have not only a preview from here at the Iconics, but we'll also have the results as well. So we'll wrap it all up. But if you want to see what's listed here, if you're listening to this as this is going out on the first weekend and the show's still running, give it a look. It's Iconics Auctions. The details are online. If there's anything you want, come and get yourself to the show. You'll find it in Hall 3A. Right, listen, Max, look at this. It's Richard here. He's working on his Sunbeam Alpine. This is what people do with classic cars, actually do work on them.
This is like a proper man, isn't it? You're using some tools and you know what to do with them.
Madman.
Let's just describe the scene. We're here with Richard Lacey. He's got his red Sunbeam Alpine here, D-Reg Sunbeam Alpine, and he's driven it to the show and taken it to bits. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's come down from Leicester, so it made it here absolutely fine, but it got a bit of sludge damage in all the weather we've been having, so the starter motor had been sat in water, so it just about got me here. So it's now been upgraded to a high torque one, so while you're replacing it, why not upgrade it?
So to describe the scene, the bonnet is up, there's tools everywhere, there's blue rag everywhere, there's a light
sweat
in the engine.
everywhere.
How many times have you been swearing, Richard, so far?
Probably about 100, I would think. So, but at first it wouldn't come out, so it was about half an hour trying to work out the little technique to get it twisted out. So we got that done. Then it wouldn't quite go back in properly, but it's now all fixed in, and we're just literally on the home straight doing the last bit of electrics.
So this is a 1725, isn't it? This is a 66 1725 engine.
This is a Series 5, so it's got the later engine in, which is a 1725, which is pretty standard on Roots cars. So you see the same thing in a Hillman Hunter, Sunbeam Rapier.
Hillman Husky as well.
He says
Hillman Husky
all the
yeah.
time.
Can I just ask about
whatever.
the upgrades? Because you've done a carb there and you've done a distributor. So what have you done to the engine?
So the engine is stock, other than it's got what's called a Club Weber carb on it. So the Club designed with Weber the right carb with the right jets. So when I got this car, it had been laid up for 35 years, I think. The carbs were shot, so everyone in the club recommended don't fix the carbs, just buy the latest version. So that's been on there ever since it's been recommissioned, and it's perfect. Same carb that you would get on a Capri.
So you drove this car here, you've now taken it to bits and you're hoping to drive it home?
I would drive it home if I hadn't left the keys at home for it this morning.
That's a good excuse though if you can't fix it. We haven't got the keys.
Yeah.
Well, Richard, all we can say, Richard, is good luck.
So this morning when we arrived and I parked the truck in the car park and started walking across, I had that moment where you're going, I've left the keys at home. And not only had I left the keys at home, I'd locked all the stuff in the boot. But fortunately, somebody else's key fitted the boot and we rescued the day.
It's been a while since we hotwired something, but we can give it a go, can't we?
Yeah, give it a push start, see what happens.
Good luck,
Brilliant.
Rich.
Good to meet you. Thanks very much.
Okay, so I'm quite tired now. I've got sore feet. I'd like to get home while it's still daylight. So that's about it for this bonus episode from Birmingham.
Yes, we're making a beeline for the car park before our carers raise the alarm. But this show carries on for another 2 days, so if you're listening to this as it's being released, get yourself down here for a look around. Just Google Practical Classics Show and you'll get all the details.
So that's us here out of Dodge and heading for the motorway. If you like this podcast, check out our brand new episode that's just been released. And we'll see you very soon for another one. But for now, goodbye.